Hello everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is Chris from Cinema Trailer News. This will be my breakdown for episode 6 of Miss Marvel, the season finale. First of all, I want to apologize because last week I had to go out and do some personal things, so I couldn't make the breakdown for last week episode. But we're here now for the season finale. Very excited, a lot of surprises here, so let's get into the breakdown. Now, the episode itself is titled No Normal, which was the name of the first graphic novel featuring the character. This is what the full series is based on, and we open up in Jersey, which where the comic was set. Circuit Q has pretty much been destroyed, but in the source material, Kamala actually did this when she tried to save Bruno from getting robbed by his brother. Damage Control are inspecting the scene, and we get Agent Devon saying this is what happens when the wrong people get powers. Think she's meant to be a little bit of racist. I think she has done a couple of microaggressions in the series and she doesn't take her shoes off in the malls. They also have a bit of a where she assumes that Sheik is quoting, and when he's actually doing Abraham Lincoln. She quickly says that she's mean case and she wants to take him alive, which is when we cut to Cameron and Bruno on the subway. Now, Cameron in the comics was an inhuman who gained bioluminescence powers after being exposed to the terrigen mist. Cameron was a genius whose family were friends with the clowns. When Cameron was a kid, they moved away for several years. When they returned in his teens, Cameron ended up being exposed to the terrigen mist, which basically transformed certain people into inhumans. This activated his abilities, and he transforms into a pair of blue beings that was able to emit powerful energy. Now, though he was a love interest to Kamala, he also ended up becoming a villain, and he worked with the bad guy Lanish. When Najma first showed up, I thought that she would be based on this character that was Satyria. Now, cut to the Statue of Liberty, which we last saw at the end of No Way Home. Now, at this point, Kamala makes an announcement and that she's nightlight to her family. They already know, and we discover that the gossip got around quickly in the house because Abu always has his phone on speaker. And this is similar to the reveal in the comics, in which she was sent to her went to her mother to tell her, but she already knew. She said she didn't mind her sneaking out if he was to help people. And it was not a nice mother and daughter moment. They start asking about how her powers work and even bring up her almost dropping the key, which her and at the happened at the end of episode 2, and it's very much coming up for her, and her parents are over the moon, so proud. At this point, Nakia FaceTime Kamala to tell her Bruno is missing, then cut to Kamala's room. We can see amongst all the powers of Captain Marvel that her desktop also has Carol's symbol as the background. Carol ends up appearing at the end of the episode in the post-credit scene, which we all talk about later on this video. Now, Maneuver comes in with a tougher box, which was the same thing that the bangle was sent in by her grandmother, and inside it has her costume that's built to reflect certain things given to her throughout the series. Wally gave Kamala the blue vest, Kareem gave her the red scarf, she got the bangle from her grandmother, and the mask from Bruno. The final piece was the necklace that Maneuver gives her symbol and effect is snapped. This all come together to form her costume, and is one of my favorites in Phase 4. She runs to the city hopping on platforms similar to the mobile game that Bruno played early in the series. Then she stops at Grove Street, and after the train derailed, Bruno decides to go to the mosque, which Nakia says is a bad idea due to all the surveillance that the place will be under due to America being suspicious of the religion. She's right too, as damage control show up at the mosque. Everyone has their ID ready because they've been through these kind of things with the governor several times before, and they do play some of it. And uh, even she even have a fake out where Nakia pretends to hide her boyfriend, and then Bruno and Cameron trying to escape. They end up wearing caps, which we seen throughout the NCU movies like The Winter Soldier and Ant-Man and the Wasp. And unfortunately, Cameron's power are too much, and he starts to overcharge. They head to the high school, and Kamala wins Kareem and tells her that he can get later out if she made it to the harbor. The friendship group reunite, and even Zoe comes in to help. And turns out she has been filming her TikToks in the school, and we learn early in the season that she's been posting a lot about nightlife, which will help them to track down. Now, Zoe sort of go off the same arc as she did in the comics, and though she initially started off a bit of a bully over the series, she ended up siding with Kamala, and that's the creative team here did some wonderful things with the design elements and elevate the show. It shines. Uh, when they do this kind of stuff, they foreshadow a lot of the battle here, including the skeletons and hoodie, which were all sketched out. The hoodies are used to make everyone look the same. It's basically a Home Alone big. Now with the skeleton inside is giving a night and gray wig. This is really within cycle. We also see damage control guns in the outside, which to show up in She-Hulk, with the main show coming out the next month. As we saw early in the series, these sonic weapons can knock out people in a non-lethal way, and I'm expecting them to show up again. Diva is told to evacuate. Being the shop that she is, she noticed and she sent them in. And I love how everyone kind of uses their power and to beat them. And Zoe, being a TikTok star, she sends this to draw people in. Now, as they run through the school, we see a mural that includes Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Mother Teresa, and Gandhi. Now Kamala and Cameron see as their power can combine. Bruno interrupts them, almost kissing her. Quite a fun chase scene, but Kamala obviously is hiding from Cameron that his mother is dead. Cameron isn't happy that his mother is there, and this Cameron makes him go full supervillain, which pits him against Kamala. She does a giant hand similar to what she does in the comic. They slowly start that line of her powers up. One of the biggest complaints throughout the series is how they change things from the source materials, but at the end she's pretty comics accurate, and even says in Bingo, though there is the hard light is still being used, her body and her hands all shape shift. Uh, and at that moment, it feels like a rip off the comics and the Avengers game. Cameron runs outside, and after damage control starts firing on him, Kamala jumps in and saves the day. They bring out the cannons, and I believe this is similar to the device used in the Incredible Hulk. This leads to a big fight with one tail of Cameron tearing through the damage control. He's going wild, and Kamala and using her powers to stop people being hurt. Eventually, Cameron goes full meltdown mode, and Kamala has to close on him. she says that Nanya sends everything she had to protect him. And I do not know if Nashman plans make all that sense in the end, but the inside of the structure that is formed also looks like the Nord. She gives him a ride to the harbor and guessing that he'll pop up against soon. We see him heading to the restaurant that the red daggers appear on, and this will likely lead him to this training. Anyway, Kamala blowing up on TikTok. We even get G. Woolley Wilson dropping one. This character was named after the author of the same name who wrote the normal graphic novel. Kamala, she's a superhero for the Muslim community, and this is the moment where she finally finds her own identity in form of acceptance. Her father tells her that she says one lie, she saves the entire world, and tells her Kamala means as perfect, which is the literal meaning for it, but also brings out how Kamal means marvel, and he calls her own little Miss Marvel. And hey, they said it. Now cut to Kamala sitting on a lamp pops, and which is based on a comic cover from her solo series. Now jump to 1 week later, and we see Bruno wearing the Gigi What teacher that he also wore in the comics. He's now driving Cameron's car, and she just needs to steer his girl, and you got it. Now from here comes one of the big oh my god moments in the episode. He scanned her genetic makeup and he discovered that she's a mutant. We even get the X-Men musical theme. It was so great. Now, that also appeared in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, in the comics, Kamala was an Inhuman, but they definitely changed this here along with her powers. Inhumans were basically what Marvel tried to push instead of the mutants in the comics because they didn't own the movie rights at the time. Now, whether this will be explored more, this remains to be seen, but I'm guessing this will be the ushering in of mutants, and they will be shifting a lot of the Inhumans character over to being them instead, and potentially they will shift towards this. Now, this could also allow them to introduce Professor X, and potentially Kamala could end up going to him for training, and allow her if they reveal that mutants have existed the entire time, much like how they did it with Kamala, and we just didn't know about them, and they had the school had been operating an unbeams whereabouts to most to the world. And however, Kamala has to star in the Marvels first, and towards that she had to make the appearance in. But here, Captain Marvel makes an appearance in the post-credit scene. Now her bangle, Kamala, her bangle light up and start to glow, and then she swap places with Kara. This to me confirms that they are indeed the Negabands, and this has a lot of basis in the comics. The Negabands were basically Kree artifacts that evolved into the negative zone. As we known here, the Nord, now in the comics, Rick Jones and Captain Marvel also use them as gateways to swap in back and forth between. For example, they will appear in place of the lead and switch place, much like we see here. Now it's gonna be interesting to see how they interact and where Kamala is actually now. She's across the cosmos somewhere while Kara is stuck here. I have no idea how this is triggered, but they're clearly leaning into the comics and setting things to match out where the bands swap. Who knows, Kamala might be right here on the opposite side of this in the negative zone instead of being across space. Or maybe Kamala shapeshifted because uh, in the in the original comic, Kamala shapeshifted into Carol. Now Carol, however, she doesn't have the other bangle, and I was kind of hoping that that would be revealed, and she found the opposite one. Either way, we know the Marvels is coming soon, and this is going to star her and Kamala and Photon, and who was last seen in WandaVision. There has been a lot of warps in realities that the three have and to deal with, and I'm guessing this will bring them together. So really great episode. It has a lot of surprise, and you have the X-Men, mutants, the Marvels, Captain Marvels, a lot of connection. Also the Kree. So I'm very excited for this, and I'm curious how this will tie to Miss Marvel and maybe Secret Invasion. So what a great episode. I really like the season finale. Overall, I think the show was pretty good. Uh, but basically, some episode in the middle were not so good, but it starts strong and end really strong. That's important. So that's my breakdown for the season finale of Miss Marvel. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, consider subscribe to the channel, and like always, thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.